Has this been worthwhile? Our first, maybe annual, not sure, but it's our first video event. Has this been okay for you guys? I'm reluctant to ask you, in statistics, to ask a group like this at the end of a period, you get what's called survivor bias. And so I'm asking the people that have managed to make it this far. But hopefully this has been a good learning experience about what's going on across this incredibly wide and deep group. So in the few minutes remaining, I wanted to share with you some perspective on looking ahead a little bit. In particular, these are one person's opinion, but I'm going to start out in a way where I started out at the beginning of the day, and that is that we think this is going to be a monumentally large business opportunity for all of us. This is not a year or two in the making. It's going to have a very nice run. 4 years. Scott says 4 years. Yeah. So we imagine that WPP is going to embrace this. We already see it happening. More of it's going to happen. And this is multi-channel. It is not just online video that we're talking about. It's mobile video. And for those of this that have come from or are working in or going to addressable TV advertising, you're going to see a convergence of these coming together. In some cases, same creative, in some cases, different. In some cases, similar tools, in some cases, different. For those of you that work for WPP or the clients at WPP, you have a tremendous opportunity. You've heard about videology today, and you're hearing about Kantar Video. The Videolytics platform and the Videology platform are going to give you tremendous tools to be able to plan, to buy, to measure, to optimize, to improve the overall effectiveness in ways that are going to bring new standards, new opportunities for performance we just haven't seen before. So among those things that we should expect looking ahead of the next few years, the first one is that this targeting that you're hearing about is just going to get better and better and better. It's going to be scary. Our ability to be able to identify waste in campaigns and be able to stop it either before it ever starts or as the campaigns are initiating. Increasingly, we will be looking at real-time analytics, and the client simply will not be willing to wait till the end of a campaign to understand how they're doing. And the first place we're going to see this showing up is in cutting waste. So it's a great opportunity. One of the things that I think that we will see that is already being worked on that has not yet come to the market is the ability to be able to plan and buy video by keywords. It will be the convergence of what we've learned in search in combination with the way that we today are thinking about how we buy video. We are not very far away from being able to extract metadata that may not be in the tags themselves for video, but being able to understand at the object and scene, at the person's level, at the brand level, what's going on frame by frame within video, as well as to be able to understand individual images and to be able to say what is offensive where we don't want to brand anywhere near it. Where is something relevant, totally relevant, something that really fits very well for that brand, and what audience is consuming it. So imagine the ability to be able to target in the same way that we've seen with display advertising against context, against behavior, against audience profiles, and to be able to do this during the course of a video, not just for video as a static object, but throughout the course of it. I think this is going to become a major new area. We saw some great innovation today in the presentation that Yanni Block gave us for Interlude. You saw a brand new narrative form, and with that narrative form comes great engagement, great creativity, excellent measurability. This is going to be the case for more and more forms of video, and I don't think it's going to take us 4 years to get there. And one of the things that the ability to buy by search will do is that it will cause search dollars to begin to migrate to video in ways we simply haven't seen before. But it also means that you're going to be able to identify those things that are inappropriate or just not relevant, and advertisers simply won't have to advertise there. The biggest implication, by far, is going to be the monetization of user-generated content in ways that we simply have not seen so far. And I suspect that where we saw presentations today from AOL and Microsoft as an example, where they were proud to suggest that they're doing premium content, which they are, and which we need them to do more of, in all likelihood, we're going to see a resurgence of user-generated content in the 4-year period as these tools begin to identify those parts of very inexpensive, almost remainder inventory, and turning that into premium content, kind of synthesizing it, taking crude and making it premium through the use of this kind of analysis. We're going to see many more iterations of creative. For those of you that are in the creative agencies, I strongly encourage you to consider producing more different kinds of creative, because the truth is we're able to deliver much more targeted audiences, and we're able to measure to understand what's working and what isn't. So I would encourage you, when you're thinking about the mix of how much money do you need for production and creative, spend a little more. Create more different permutations and combinations of creative. It's well worth it. Keep going. So, social democrats. I don't really have a better phrase for them than that, but it strikes me that there is a subset, a large subset, of the audience for video that we're going to find is deeply influential, either because of what they say or what they do with video. I'm calling those people social democrats, and I think we're going to find out through the use of social graph technology and by other means, who among these viewers are the ones that are the most powerful, the ones that have the ability to create the greatest leverage for us as marketers. And I'm calling this particular segment, which I think will turn out to be large and valuable, social democrats. VAORs, anybody know that acronym? Am I creating it?
Looks like rodents of unusual size from
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that we're going to see video agencies of record. And I think we're going to see them in WPP, and I think we're going to see them outside of WPP. There are search agencies of record. Why shouldn't there be video agencies of record? We have today in our midst a presentation that we heard from Ogilvy about the great work that needs to be done in video and work that Ogilvy is doing. I think we're going to go a lot further with that. And the resources that Mr. Davis and others need are beyond today how they're being resourced in their agencies. And my guess is that we're going to continue to see kind of a reorganization around how do we put together the right resources in order to be able to take full advantage of what has to be done for great video work. Four-screen measurement. So if we're doing online video and mobile video, and we're talking about addressable TV and interactive TV, that fourth screen is out of home, and there's no reason to think that in a 4-year time frame that we're not going to see out-of-home video becoming a significant medium. It will be. It's simply not a hot topic for us for the next 18 months, because if each of us are lucky and we think about what we're trying to accomplish, we'll be lucky to get done what's already on our plate. But it's reasonable to think that four-screen is coming along and that we're going to need to think about how we prepare and compete in that space. So I think my last slide for you is an open invitation, courtesy of AOL. AOL has a group outside that is inviting you to come and submit a question that you might like to ask a particular segment of the audience. And they'd like to turn that into some insight for you and some fun. So Trevor, do we know where we're directing people to? Okay, so Trevor says it's out there, somewhere out there. And well, he says it with a lot more hair than I can say it. So I thank everyone for coming here today. I thank you all for your interest in video. These are still early days for us. When I think about an email that I constructed for Eric Salama about 2 years ago on behalf of Title TV, and explaining what video was and why it was important and why WPP needed to commit resources to it. And I think about where we are today, and I imagine what our markets are going to look like in just a couple of years. It seems to me that this is just a great, fun area. I hope all of you had a good time today. And again, thank you for coming.